If you ever feel bad about yourself, just remember that the pink sauce lady exists. Yep, that's who we're going to be talking about. And if you don't know who she is, she was a TikTok influencer who created her own sauce called pink sauce, basically pink ranch mixed with other condiments, which turned out to be a huge disaster because she didn't even know what FDA meant. She said it wasn't a, she thought it only had to do with medical supplies, apparently. Yep, she's making things at her own house and then selling it to people on the internet, taking no safety precautions to preserve her product, which I think everybody needs to learn a lesson from this and be careful not to buy things from TikTokers, especially. And after that all happened, she resurfaced in the news and was claiming to be broke and homeless and couldn't feed her children. So she started a GoFundMe page, help get justice for the pink sauce, because she claimed she had a terrible deal with the company that ended up buying pink sauce, which is probably one of the biggest mistakes that they've ever made, honestly. They just saw the buzz on the internet and decided to buy it out, trying to make it something, which was a terrible idea because it was popular for all the wrong reasons. And I'll tell you in a minute why you should definitely not donate to this person, because she's a liar and very shallow, as you'll see from this clip.
Okay, but why would I contact someone who's fabricating something on the internet?
But nothing was fabricated.
To be honest, you're not special. You're not special. Okay? So why should I lose my mind and
Yeah, and the complete brain dead people in the crowd cheering for this woman when she went on a talk show. Now, the blonde woman was critiquing her because she got her product and it was all swollen and molding and basically going bad. Completely chemical warfare on this woman. And it was confronting her critic online who she said was harassing her. And you can see by the way she's acting, she's completely condescending and probably a little narcissistic the way she's treating this woman who's critiquing her product and wasn't being very rude about it or anything. Just saying you're not very special. Well, to be honest, you're not either.
and also
And to
and
make
I'm
it more
gonna touch on
condescending
him when I
and
say
cringy,
this. When I said that you're not special, I meant that as you're not special as far as someone trying to hurt me. So I didn't take it as a direct insult because I know the industry and I know how people use different topics to build their platforms. That's all.
I mean, what else do you gotta say? This woman has the complete inability to take criticism. Her product was literally poisoning people and sending them to the hospital because of all the problems that it was having, because she was literally shipping dairy products and stuff like that across the country in the heat and the sun. And you can imagine stuff doesn't really go that well out in those conditions. And so she went on this huge slanderous campaign bashing Dave's Gourmet, who bought out her pink sauce. And finally, they responded because she kept saying that it was a horrible deal and they wouldn't pay her, just basically trying to get pity and trying to get everybody mad at Dave's Gourmet, probably trying to get them to shovel out some more money. It says Dave's Gourmet revealed that Veronica received $45,000 upfront for purchasing the pink sauce brand from her. It was agreed that she would to be responsible for the pink sauce brand from handling all refunds to customers who received bad product or didn't receive anything despite paying for it prior to the partnership. After the agreement was signed, it turned out Miss Shaw did not have enough money to cover all refunds. So Dave's Gourmet gave her another $30,000 to cover refunds, even though it was not in their responsibility. So they've already gone above and beyond what they're even supposed to or legally obligated to. And then it says fall of 2022, Shaw was struggling financially, so DG provided Shaw with multiple cash advances that totaled more than $40,000. They did not charge her any interest or fees. These advances were supposed to be offset by the future royalties that Shaw was going to earn. So far, that's $70,000 they gave her that they didn't really need to. And then February 2023, Veronica requested over $10,000 in marketing expenses to throw herself a birthday party. She asked for $10,000 for a birthday party. And she requested that they pay for her dress, $800, and shoes, 600 plus. That's ridiculous. That's actually ridiculous. DG would not approve these expenses, suggesting a smaller budget. She got upset and never collaborated with them since. So you can see she's completely unhinged and money hungry. Like, these people are not just going to keep giving you money. It's not a free give out. Like, it's literally a business partner. And then, March of 2023, Shaw communicated that she had spent the entirety of her previous advances and that she needed another advance to feed her children and to avoid being evicted. DG sent her 2 advances that totaled $5,000. So they're still giving her money. Like, they shouldn't even be giving her money because they're not obligated to. They're just such a nice company. I don't know what this guy's doing, but he's being way nicer than he needs to be. Due to the large advances on Shaw's royalty payment, the balance of Q1 royalties owed the Shaw came to $666.86. DG decided to hold off on deducting 10,000 in advances from the royalties due until a later period, so that she would have more funds to cover her needs at the time, and instead paid Shaw 10,666. This balance and all payments processed have been outlined and communicated to her consistently. DG then deducted the above-mentioned advances of 10,000 at the second quarter of royalty payment. Shaw submitted an expense report to DG that included requests for payment for her time dedicated to making social media content. Such requests were outside the terms of the agreement. DG then asked for clarifications related to the various expenses listed by Shaw, but backups, receipts, and explanations were not provided. That's super weird, maybe because there was none. There was no explanation, and she's lazy. She's not going to do that. Ms. Shaw had certain obligations in her contract related to social media activities that she violated multiple times, but DG chose not to enforce them as to not create a strained relationship. DG is probably one of the greatest business partners to have. I mean, they just have so much leeway and they're so lax. He says in total, Veronica Shaw received over $120,000 in payments from her partnership with Dave's Gourmet and Pink Sauce since August of 2022 to date. DG offered to pay her attorney's fees to go over her contract and make sure all payments she had received are in fact correct, but she declined. So they were even going to help her to see that, but obviously she knows that she doesn't need any more money, but so she's not going to go through all the hassle of trying to prove it in court because she already knows. And here's a clip of her.
Long story short, these people defrauded me. So I would have to sue them for fraud because it's not only the calculation of the royalty, but it's everything else. It's like long.
She's talking about them defrauding her when they gave her $120,000 that she managed to spend in 6 months on, she said in one video I heard, that mostly on Airbnbs because she was homeless. I don't understand what kind of Airbnbs you're going to that you spend $120,000 in total, like, in that amount of time. That seems an absurd amount. Let's see here. We got some pretty expensive Airbnbs, and you'd think if you were on a budget, if you wanted to make your money last, you would pick a cheaper one. Let's see. Let's assume she went with a super expensive one. A 6,000. Let's see, 6,750 a night. That's a lot of money. See, this one would be 210,000. Dang, it's pretty expensive. All right, let's see another one. Well, look at this cheaper one that's still really nice. Almost 1,300 a night. Let's see. 1 month later. Let's do 1 month later. The 21st. Okay. So this one for 1 month would be 31,000 in total. So in those 6 months, it'd probably be around like 190,000. So she must have been staying in some pretty expensive Airbnb. Now, California's an expensive place, which I think she's from, but if you look, you can find some that are decent priced, and the places are not too bad. You know, and if you're on a budget, if you have no money and you have kids you need to take care of, you might want to find something like this just for the meantime if you can't afford another house for some reason with that amount of money. So obviously she was staying in an Airbnb that was way too expensive for how much money she had. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with people, your friends, your enemies, whoever you want. And have a good day. Yeah.